It's so time.
It's my time. It's Elisa time.
Yay.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's so weird saying hi twice. Like, because we just like said hi and now we're like, hi again. It's so, I'm just happy to be here. I love connecting with your audience every time I'm on your show. I like, as soon as it goes live, I feel it. It's like bing, bing, bing. It just like lights up. It's so cool.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, you guys are like, I'm telling you, remember when I first came on your channel and we were talking about the Starseed reports, and I had been doing Starseed reports for a while, and then I started getting your audience asking for reports, and I was like, who are these people? I remember writing you like, who are they? Like, why are all of these like very high ranking people come to you? And then we like figured out like that's kind of part of who you are and what you do, and like bringing that in. But yeah, it's always like as soon as we connect, it's like that field, that grid just lights up. Like, yes, just high vibes.
High vibes all around.
I love it. I'm grateful to be here. So
Me
how
too.
are you doing through Lionsgate?
Actually, it hasn't been bad. It's maybe a couple of days where I've woken up where I'm like, oh, I don't feel happy. I don't feel, in that good state. So it's been palpable.
Okay. It's
What
yeah,
about for you?
same thing. The energy is kind of undeniable. And that even, people who aren't sensitive to these things are like, yeah, there's something definitely going on here. And figuring out that Lionsgate, there's always some fog around the actual dates, and like is is this like a secret hijacking of like the cabal trying to like siphon people's manifestations, or is this like partial truth like we get sometimes, where it's like a little bit of it and not the whole thing? I think more the latter, honestly, as I've been diving in and then receiving validation from other beings. It's just like Lionsgate is still wide open. It's not done,
Oh, okay.
not until at least like the 22nd. And then people are saying that it's gonna keeps going. It kind of just tapers off instead of like an abrupt door shutting. But I still feel like it's like palpable, literally, like what you.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Do you notice a difference in Charlie at all?
Oh god. Charlie's always like, so this is what has been coming through. I wanted to bring it up to you and see if you have been receiving kind of the same thing. A lot of times during remote viewing or just tapping in with the guides and receiving, this Venusian energy keeps coming up. And I think for some people, a lot of people are feeling the same thing. I know I was looking in the planets and like Venus is moving through Leo, and that would be a reason why intuitives or sensitive beings would be more sensitive to everybody's receiving like the 8-pointed star symbols, or like just getting stuff showing up around them about Venus, or even just feeling the Venusian energy of like indulgence a little bit, of like really wanting to be luxurious and all types of like not holding on to money and just like spending things on whatever you want, whatever's pretty, like things like kind of aligned with the Venus energy keeps coming up. But there's definitely some a large collective of Venusian beings that has been tapping in, and I think they're like the most low-key star seeds, honestly. Like they're there, but they don't really like talk about their star seediness.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm just gonna do my mission. No big deal. Like we don't have to talk about it, but yeah, they're I
Star seediness. That's a new word.
how my star seediness, like how I need to put this up. It's getting on my nerves. See, this is why I need the turban. I have too much hair. The Venusian energy's been coming through a lot, talking about our physical avatars, since they love all things sensory, all of the beauties and the sounds,
Ah.
and even the sacredness of sex. That seems to be coming up a lot. What actually happens when two people are in union with each other, and like how that needs to come back online with us, and like kind of all sorts of very interesting synchronicities happening. So it's cool to be in that field. That Venus energy is so lovely. It's just so like pink and gold and nice. Um, a lot of information coming through about us beginning to utilize our energetic bodies and activating sacred sites. So I don't know if that's coming up for you. I know you just did your little yatra to Shasta, and we were beginning to talk about that. And I was wondering if um, you ever felt like kind of dragged around places there. Sometimes when you have this grid work contract part of your mission, like you're going to activate this, you're going to go here. Sometimes starseeds can feel like I'm just going with the wind. Wherever people are going, I'm going. So how was that kind of your deal in Shasta, or?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we got there and we had not checked to see what the final schedule was because they had not published it. So we got there and we see that. So before we got there, um, Tracy had sent an email to Ruben Langdon telling him we were going to Mount Shasta. Well, Ruben sent her an email, sent her a video to watch with Lowell Johnson, who had been inside Telos physically.
Yeah.
So we get there, and when we look, he's part of the conference. As not only is he part of the conference, he also has a hike to a specific place in the mountain.
Oh yeah.
And it wasn't, we didn't know if it was going to be where they took him in, the area where they took him in, or if it was a different place. We didn't know. All it said was that he was going to take us to a special place. Mm-hmm. So immediately both Tracy and I look at each other and we go, we gotta go. That's for us. That's for us. I know that's for us.
I know. I love this.
Yeah. And then we were freaking out. We texted the guy who does the conference. He replied right back saying, yes, we have 3 spots available. And we thought it was 2 days before the hike.
That's
and
so
we're like, it's got to be sold out. It's got to be sold out. There's no way there's going to be spots available.
No, your guides are like, that's like, we signed this up before you got on this planet.
Yeah.
To get there.
Yep. Yep. So it was just so super magical from there. I mean, just the hike, I got to go twice with him, Saturday and Sunday, and it was really just really magical.
Right. When you feel the energy fields of those places, it's like,
yeah.
You know what everybody's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Grids. So yeah, activating sites is part of, like, I swear, every starseed I like kind of dive into what they came here to do. It's always grid work. That's always like part of it. Like I'm always like, I'll hop around North America continent, or I'll get drawn to Norway, or I'll get drawn to Australia, or like these just, it seems happenstance to this level of consciousness, but it's all very like designed, So I was sometimes, like I said, whenever I look at your energy, girl, you're like receiving, and then I ask you and you're like, I don't know. I don't feel anything. I didn't know nothing. I don't know what I'm doing. So sometimes what that comes across as like, I just got pulled around a bunch of places. But your aura, your energy was like necessary to be at that place at that time. So even unconsciously, you're like always working. So that's really cool. But like, so like setting off these sites. A lot of people are like, what is it?
Yeah, what is it? Like, I don't know. Like, I know they want me there, but it's not like I just get messages to like, oh, now do this or now do that, or
you don't have to do anything. You really just have to be there. It's just getting your energetic body there. And then because you are connected to the Pleiades, you're connected to the Blue Avians, and you have like kind of like a conglomerate of galactics that are working through you for you to do what you do. They can move their energy, they can move their frequency codes and beams through your auric field. So just get there, and like,
oh, okay.
Happening. You might have a sensitivity to like, wow, something's happening. Like something is happening right now. I like a lot of times I've been feeling lately like the earth literally moving. Every time I sit down, it's like buzzing all the
Oh,
time.
really?
My feet are buzzing, or anywhere I'm contacting like solid earth is buzzing. And now my feet are buzzing. And now as I'm talking about it, my feet are literally buzzing. But no, so it's like there's this grid, and everyone talks about the grid within the earth. That's very real. There's also a grid, an etheric grid, and a lot of like the ancient, I swear, the ancient civilizations had to see. They had to just see how energy moved, because the way they have these like megaliths and temples just boom right on top of these large crisscross nodes of energy, and then it starts pulling in the celestial energy to match the planetary energy and makes like this honeycomb effect. And that's like a lot of these grids that some certain channels are seeing or talking about activating and getting to these largely energetic sites using the quartz beneath the earth, using the amount of iron beneath the earth in this part. There's like underground volcanoes. There's multiple reasons why a location might have a large energetic field. So like you getting there allows us to attune that field to to whatever's needed for ascension, whatever's needed to activate the certain sacred geometry that gets things moving. And what the Venusians have been showing me is that these are literally like the bones of Terra. So like the not the ley lines in the planet, but like what's happening, the connective telharmonic field that's happening all around the planet.
Like, yeah,
Right.
like the ethers or the dome or
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. Like
whatever.
the etheric grid is
Hmm.
kind of like this skeletal framework of the 5D planet that's getting that dimension is just becoming more accessible the more that we do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So like a lot of star seeds nowadays are getting called to travel, and because of the how do I say this? Because of like the firewalls we set up to navigate this veil of amnesia that we go through, you might not be conscious of it. You know, all of a sudden your job might really need you in a certain place, or it could just be a pull or an urge or a resonance with a certain location. So if you are feeling that, just go, like, take your shoes off, put your feet in the ground, communicate. You don't have to do that if that's not your thing, but it helps.
Yeah.
It definitely helps. But you can just be there and just, yeah. So following resonance was like a big thing with um with what's happening right now, it seems like. So that's so cool. And you were telling me about your pictures. You got like a picture of something.
Yeah, yeah. So it seems that at the higher awareness level that I've been able to move to, I'm able to see things that other people can't. So like again, like a video game where when you move up in the video game, you see a different landscape, right?
Mhm.
So that's where it's at now, where I'm seeing one example was, yeah,
Welcome
there
to
was,
my crazy side of the town.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's amazing because when I see these things, um, it's like boom, that's what this is.
Mhm.
It's
It's
like
a
I
new
saw that city and I'm like, that's a city. Then
good.
I saw a huge plateau, a huge mountain, completely flat, and I'm like, and it just blurted out of my mouth, that's a tree.
Yeah, you're integrating. You're
And
integrating.
I'm like,
That's so
it's so,
amazing.
yeah, yeah. So it's I definitely have to say that that's coming out more and more where I'm very visual. Like in IQ tests, I always outshined on visual patterns.
Okay.
I can put like pictures on walls and I don't need a level. I don't need to measure what's the middle. I mean, I'm visually, I can tell you when something's not level. I
Do you have a photographic
so
memory?
I used to, not anymore, but I used to.
That's a psychic gift. A lot of people think that's like an intellectual heightening, but that's actually like
Oh,
a psychic gift to be able to just like hold any photo shot of your subconscious. That's really cool.
yeah.
I didn't know that about you. That's so cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So seeing that stuff was so magical, so magical.
Right.
To recognize all these things that are out there for us to see, and we need to be paying attention and really listening to, what's coming in.
Right. And like,
But
right, that's like exactly it. Listening and you trusted it and you just like, that's a tree. I know it's a tree, right? It's,
yeah,
that's so
yeah, and you know what else? And I know this is something that we do a lot in the group, is I'm seeing more and more uh, ETs in pictures. I was able to see them before the trip, but now it's like really fast, and I can find them really fast on pictures, like ETs or beings or um, some. If I'm the other day in the shower, I looked on my soap and there was an ET face on it, and I was like, "Oh my god, they're everywhere!" Like
yes, literally, quite literally, like our world has never been separated
it
from
is.
other.
That's the thing. That's what I've seen, and I do the fungus. And so
You know,
when you do the fungus, you can see it even more.
right.
You
Are you
actually
doing it
see
still
the faces.
ceremonially or is it like microdosing?
No, ceremonially.
Okay, yeah. So that, like, you know how some people take LSD and then they're like 27 years later they still see like they're still having like random trips. It like never stops.
Yeah, because
Stop.
once you see how this is constructed, how this video game is constructed, which is
Mhm.
what the what the mushroom does for you, it kind of opens the veil and goes, this is how this works,
Right,
and
right.
so once you see how it works, now I'm paying more attention to what's around me, and I'm more like, thank you for putting that wall there, creating that wall for me, thank you for creating that chandelier for me. Like,
Mhm.
now I see the work that they did to create the reality, and it's just amazing. If you guys really look at the sky, before I used to see a picture of a cloud and see the ET, but if I looked up, I couldn't see it. Now I can see it with my eyes,
And the sky is full of them.
full of it.
Right. So a lot of times people like ask me what I see, and I'm like, I don't know where to begin because like there's a lot. Like, just ask me a specific question. The things, I think this is why that it's better to get stepped into it like you are, like with the gradual unveiling instead
Not
of
like you, that you were just thrown in there. Like,
there's everything that's happening all at once, and you're like, oh God, kill me. Like, get me out of here. That's but that's so cool. They're like, yeah, the ET beings, I don't even know how to like call myself human or call other people human. Sometimes I use the word muggle to explain like somebody who's asleep. You know what I'm talking about? Somebody who is not conscious.
right.
It's still kind of a program, but even they have like these galactic codes in their DNA. Even they do. So it's
Yeah, 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 yeah.
who's human? Like they're like, who is human anymore? I don't know. What
I
maybe
don't think very many.
right. Maybe the term for human needs to change. Maybe it's just like an umbrella term now. I don't know. But that's so cool what you're talking about, the hologram. That's like hard for some people, and that's like the main reason, like with my clients, with my students, with people who are trying to like master their intuition. To begin with, I'm like, for 7 minutes a day, grab any crystal you want, sit with it, and keep saying over and over again, I'm not this body, I'm not even this mind. For 7 minutes, just say, I am not this body, I'm not even this mind, I am not this body, like in your head or out loud. And it starts to reprogram your brain, because it leaves you about like 3 minutes in, you'll start asking, well, what the hell am I? Right? Like, well, what am I like if I'm not the body, I'm not the mind? Then what am I? And then you can start to get to the truth of what you are, which is like, this is like a car, and this car can change. The higher that you go vibrationally, the more that's under your conscious control, which is why I think a lot of these beings, like some people call like Sophie Atlantean, or who else does it? A lot of the royal families, or these people they're catching in photos that they're like, Jamie Foxx showed up in a photo like from the 1930s and it like looks like him, but like Jamie Foxx is obviously here. I think sometimes we get these beings that want to keep the same avatar, that like, why would, if you could willingly move your conscious from one avatar to the other, why wouldn't you, right? So I always like ask my guys like, why put your avatar in a regeneration chamber to keep it or preserve it or anything like that? And it's the data that this body holds. It's the cellular memory that they use, right? They
Oh.
live lifetimes gaining how to figure the muscle memory of this stuff out, and starting from scratch or starting with some like roll of the dice genetics is like not even an option, right? Like, so it's like, I'm going to keep that body that I've been putting all that work into, and I want it
Yeah.
to be like nice and not like achy when I'm in it. And I think that's where we get a lot of this, like, are they immortal, or are they, clones, or are they shapeshifters? There are clones, and I've been seeing more of those online.
Really?
Yeah, it seems like everyone,
So I know you see auras. Do clones, when you see
they
them,
don't
what
have
do
the
they,
same
what
aura.
do they don't?
No,
What does that look like?
it's like it's okay. I guess it's like Minecraft. That's my only metaphor. It would be like, so if an aura was like this beautiful kind of all moving puzzle piece around you, there a clone's aura is kind of like Minecraft, like pixelated, like a little
Oh, pixelated, you mean like,
right,
oh,
little
wow.
and very like automated, and kind of figuring out its like natural movement and its relation with the matrix field. And so I noticed like Adele, they didn't even try with Adele. I like, Adele is not the same person. And I think it's almost every celebrity that you see that all of a sudden has this rapid weight loss, right? That's like, like, what's going? You just disappeared and came back really skinny. And I only started paying attention when I saw how different Adele's aura looked. It's like, I don't know
Oh,
what happened to Adele, but that's not Adele. That was that. So yeah, I don't know with these weird
wow.
skinny celebrities. There's so much. There's so much just below.
Wow, there's so much you can see when you have your X-ray vision thing that you have, this gift.
It's a gift. It can be. It can be very. I always try to come to it with gratitude, but sometimes it can be a pain in the butt. It totally can be a pain sometimes. But so I want to get back to the field that's getting activated through all these star seeds moving around.
Yes,
So it like, have you noticed that you can communicate mentally more? Have you noticed this
with
with like
other.
like, yeah, with other beings? Do you notice that you're communicating a little bit more non-verbally? No, okay. So the as she's like sending me messages now, she's like, "No, I'm not doing anything." The Telhar field is like nodes from the sacred sites that are getting activated all over the world, allows that kind of vibration to be like really anchor in here, where stuff like this becomes available to people. So you might notice that, things are just getting easier. You're starting to play with your energetic body and your capabilities, or you're just more inclined to do it. It's just kind of one of those subtle things that is about energy. That's how it works. It's very like, you don't notice until you notice. But those are totally getting going. So I don't know about this whole solar flash thing. Hi, Kitty. I don't know. I feel like it's a relative experience, and I think I don't have a precedent to look at and be like, yes, this is it. I mean, I know this is a high energy field that we're in. I know that it's crazy lightning storms everywhere. That guys were saying the codes are in the lightning.
Really?
Oh yeah, they're saying these like are generated storms that have codes, quantum codes for star seeds. And so if you're getting a lot of lightning storms around you, that's like receive, receive, receive. That's just
Wow, really?
yeah. Oh God, yeah. And I think it's a lot of these Syrian beings that are it's always a mashup. It's never just this race to me, for me, speaking personally. But a lot, it seems like a majority of Syrian beings are kind of orchestrating these storms that I think a lot of people are experiencing. So if you are getting a lot of like thunderstorms and lightning, um, try to go ground, try to go receive those codes that are in the earth. You're going to receive them, whether it's intentional or not.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's cool. Have you been getting lightning storms?
Yeah, I mean, not a lot, but yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow,
Your
that's
aura does look like
awesome.
you look like one of these people that have some people's contracts have and my sister's like this. Some people have these 72-hour upgrade contracts. Like once you reach a certain type timeline in the ascension, your upgrades start ramping up. So every 72 hours you're just getting like a complete rewash, like, and then like a new layer applied to you. And that can be exhausting. That can be a little bit crazy making. For But you have like this very um groundedness. I don't know, you're outside a lot, you're like at the beach all the time. Yeah, so that helps to integrate all of this heaviness. But I think that's becoming more common the farther we get into ascension, where like people's upgrades are just like it's like every 3 days, every week, every 2 weeks, it's like another upgrade. I'm exhausted again. So again, with the grounding is so important. Letting guys
Okay.
support you is so important.
Okay.
Yeah. That's I don't know. That's a big one that's going in. It's happening in like heart and higher heart area. So a lot of like releasing, maybe a lot of releasing of like anger and random crying could happen.
Mm,
You have Garrett Duncan's neck tech on
I do.
so much. I
I
love it.
do. I do. I do.
Is this lapis?
Yeah, and uh, labradorite. This is labradorite here, and
Okay.
this is lapis here, and copper.
Oh, and the copper. That's why it's
Yeah.
like vibrating.
Really?
You're always vibrating. You're you're always like I think it's because you're just surrounded by aliens all the time. And you work with them and you're in session with them and you're always like connected with them. Your energy's always very high. That's why I'm always bugging you like, are you seeing anything? Are you having any dreams? Are you are you going anywhere? Like, are you processing what you're up to?
I don't think I know. I seriously don't think I know.
Okay. Not yet. That's a not yet. Do you
Eh,
it's okay. It's okay. Let's do you want to do something cool with your energy just to show you like how different things are moving?
yeah,
Right? Okay. So are you holding the cat?
I can let go.
Okay.
Yep.
Don't hurt the kitty. So like take and people watching, you guys do this too. So it's like take your wrist lines and line your wrist up. So and then like put your hands flat. So they you should see now if you've just been watching TV, one of your hands is shorter than the other.
Hmm.
See the shorter one?
I don't see it. Right now, they're literally even.
Are they? Oh, very balanced. Okay, well, if people are not as balanced as Miss Herrera. My right hand is shorter than my other one right now. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine are literally even.
Your so let me see. That's turned around. Your left hand's a little bit below. No, that's your right. All the fingers are so different. All your fingers are doing different things. Wait, okay, line your wrist up. Line your wrist up again. Just the lines. Like
Oh,
give
the
them
lines.
up,
Okay.
yeah,
Uh huh.
and then just flap them closed and see if they're even. Are they still even? Oh, you are
Yeah.
an alien. You're such an alien. That's so bizarre. Anyway, my right hand is
I
still
am a hybrid. I know
way
for sure
shorter.
I'm a hybrid.
My right hand's still shorter. Sometimes that's because I'm like activating my right channel of my body. Sometimes because it's deactivated. But you can literally just, if people watching online, not Elisa, you don't get to, just hold your hand up in the air.
The
Uh,
one that was higher or lower?
the one that was shorter, the
That
shorter
was
hand,
shorter.
right?
Okay.
So just put that one up in the air and just hold it there because this is kind of the where the conscious field is, like when your crown is downloading information, is kind of like right up here in the ether. And then like 30 seconds maybe, and then like bring it back down. And if you guys line your wrists up again and then line your hands up again, they should be completely even now. And that's like how, just to show you a quick example of how quickly the holograph that is your body can change and can receive energy and can
Wow.
like be malleable and moved around. And you can start doing that with your conscious thought. And that's kind of really exciting. That's some of the stuff that's coming up that's going to be available for us to figure out first so we can explain it to the rest of the world as usual.
Wow, that's so
You know
awesome.
what's so bizarre? I've never seen anyone whose hands are always even. That's so weird. Usually people like dolphins will shut off one side of their brain. They'll only operate from like the left brain and or the right brain. But we do that too. We don't do it consciously. We're not as amazing as dolphins yet. Yet. But like we're getting there. I don't know. They're so amazing. Anyway, so like usually one side of our body is more active than the left, and you can do it by like seeing which now so you can breathe out better.
Yeah. I think you showed that to me one
Yeah.
time.
So yours would probably be the same. Do you have any resistance in one more than the other?
And the right one.
And the right one? You're like, now I'm stuffy. So like I've never like just showing people that. I think only my teacher has been like my hands are kind of always even. And but he can control like what side of the body he wants to utilize at which time. I'm not that much of a Jedi yet, but that's cool. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna be like, I met somebody whose hands were completely even.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is.
That's really interesting.
I know. I love this stuff. I'm so excited for this ascension. I'm just so excited. I am. I'm just so excited for like us to walk around with each other, like full out of the cosmic closet, just communicating.
You know, that's how it was in Shasta in the park. So the park where they had the conference was an actual city park, and it had a spring that had water where people would go fill up their jugs of water. The water was so delicious. I've never had water this good ever. And on the way there's like, hi brother, hi sister, let me give you a hug. I mean, you're hugging strangers. You're people are not wearing shoes. People are, yeah, it was like, oh my God, these are my people. These are my people. But yeah, in Mount Shasta. So when you go
I'm
to
not
the
coming
city
back.
park.
I might not come back. I'm going to have to like ship my children out to me.
It was really hard to leave. I'll tell you, it was very hard to leave, but it was 100 and some degrees. It was hot as heck. So it was, I mean, I was happy to leave too, you know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah. No, it was incredible.
Florida's pretty hot. So the mountain.
No, it was not. This was Arizona hot.
Okay.
Like really hot.
That can be really intense. That's like really big. Sometimes that's probably just energy too. Sometimes that like unbearable heat is just like literally vibrations speeding up, like making your molecules move really, really fast. But I love that it's like, did you spot any Lemurians? Did you see any while you were
I did spot Lemurian trees in when we went to Mammoth Lakes. The trees were like these, I mean, 10-foot, I would say in diameter pine trees. They were so huge. I had to use my panoramic setting on the camera, and I wasn't even able to get the tree to look right with the panoramic. So it was absolutely stunning, the trees in Mammoth Lakes.
I would be just connecting with the trees. That's so cool.
I have to go back to Mammoth Lakes. I mean, it was amazing. Shasta is really small. Like, well, Mammoth Lakes was small too. It's kind of the same amount of people, but it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
But again, you know, California people are the right people are very like awake and, so, but yeah, in Shasta, it was just like, these are my people. These are my people, just even the farmer's market that we saw on Monday, even the people there, they're all like, again, with the dreadlocks and no shoes and just flowy clothes and there is no, I don't know, just very flowy and
Weird thing that happens on the East Coast of this landmass. It's weird. It's very bizarre. And then, like, when East Coasters go to the West Coast, we're like, we can't stand it because they're so free, right? And they're so happy, and they don't really have schedules. And we're like, what the? Who gets away with this? And then we don't know. It's just like literally 4 hours away on a plane.
yeah.
It's like people, like, I was born in New York, but I only lived there until I was 5, but until I was 4, and then we moved to Maryland, which is a lot slower. So I always wanted to go back to New York. I always felt like I was like snatched away and like
Really?
my New York childhood, and like so I went back. I moved to Portland. I hated Portland. It was so slow. I loved the nature, but like the people, I was like the only Black person. It was always like a conversation about like my Blackness. I was like over it. So I left. I left after 6 months, and then I was like, I'm gonna go live in New York. That's where I've always wanted to be. And it was like so miserable. Especially I think the contrast of coming from Portland, Oregon to New York City.
Oh my God. That's got to be black and white.
It was crazy. It was like it's I think I appreciated it because I was like hungry for culture. But then I was like, this is nuts. Like, who can live like this? And then you see the people who have like grown up there and they love it. Like, you can get used to anything. They don't ever want to leave New York. They think everything else is like not cosmopolitan or sophisticated or doesn't move at the speed that they're used to. And it's just like this power hungry frenzy kind of that's
Yes.
happening, and it's all driven by this like thing that doesn't even exist, which is like ambition to conquer what, like to be the best
Exactly.
of what. So when being in that energy field, I feel so bad for any empath in New York City because like oh my god, I was like drunk every day. I had to be.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know how people can deal with that environment. I don't.
It's like they
I
just get used to it. And I think a lot of the galactic beings wonder that about us on Earth. They're like, why don't you get sick of it? Like how come you don't stand up and say, I don't want to do this anymore? Like
Oh, many of us do. Oh, many of us do.
that's what a lot of these conversations I get into about like, well, the fear that like grips us, and then we outnumber the cabal, we outnumber the elite. It would be really easy for 10% of us to say fuck it, and then the rest would follow suit, but it doesn't
Yeah.
happen, right? So a lot of times like the galactic beings are curious as to like why not, like how much does it take for you guys to get like miserable and say like I just don't want to do this anymore because I don't have to, right? Like when are you going to get it? I'm like, I don't know. I honestly don't know what the the security, the false sense of security, because it's really imprisonment, is
It
like
is it's slavery. Yes.
it's
That's what
literally
I started calling it, was slavery. This is a
like
slavery system. Especially when they started increasing my benefits, the cost of the benefits, but they wouldn't give me an increase in salary. So
see.
then I was paying to stay there. I
This is
was
what I'm
paying
saying.
them to stay there.
And most people are in such a weird frequency of GMOs and chemtrails and McDonald's and Netflix that they don't look at stuff like that. And even if
Yeah.
they do, they're in such a low state, they don't have the energy to contest it. They don't even have the energy to say, like, this isn't fair.
Yeah.
Right. So they're just like, I'll go back to work. I hate
Yep.
it. I hate everyone I work with.
Yep.
I hate how it makes me feel, but I'll keep going. And I think that's where, like, a lot of these higher dimensional beings are confused. They're like, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing it? Like, all you have to do is tell the universe what you want. That's it.
Yeah. Create it. You're a creator. You came here to create, and just create it.
Right. The
Right.
video game that nobody told you you were playing. That's
Yes.
that's how this feels.
How unfair. That's really unfair. Let me tell you.
It is. It's like, when you are little and there's like different, oh, there's fireworks. Our guides are clapping. When you're little and there's like those tiles on the floor that are different colors, and the
Yep.
kids are like, "Don't jump on the black tile. The black tile's lava or whatever, or
Right.
fire or whatever it is."
Yeah.
And you just walk into the game, and they're like, "You stepped on lava. You're out." You're like, "I wasn't playing. I wasn't even playing. Like you guys started this before I got here." That's how I feel about life on Earth. When they're like, "You have to vote, or you have to pay taxes." I'm like, "What? Y'all started this before I got here. I don't want to play. I'm not playing." I don't know. It's just having this awareness. Like the Andromedans have full genetic memory of what they were before they were born. So I always wonder like how that feels in relative perspective to just know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Right?
right? Like how that's got to be such a different game.
Mhm.
Seriously.
It is.
It's
It is because we're so focused on like, what am I doing here? And then we get like, hijacked. So then it gets even more confusing. You come
yeah.
to third dimension to figure your soul out and what you can do. And then like on top of that, there's layers of oppression. It's not fair. So no
No,
one.
think about it. We're not only are we thrown here, but then we just found out, by the way, everything you know, you've been lied to. Everything you know, everything that they have taught you, even the fact that maybe I don't need shampoo to wash my hair.
It's
That could be
bizarre.
bullshit. Like stuff like simple stuff that we like, do I
Tiny
need to
little
brush
stuff
my
that you're like,
teeth?
that? Really? Yeah. Yeah.
Like just simple basic shit that we're just like, now I question everything.
You
And I'm
should.
like, do I really have to brush my teeth? Do I
Yeah.
really have to do this? Do I really have to do that? Well, let me look at this. Let me
Question
figure
it
this
all.
out.
Even question the question Google, and then just go with your resonance. I can't with the references from Google anymore. When people are like, "Well, Google doesn't have anything that says what you said," I'm like, "No one. What do you think that they would have like this plain on the internet for you to find? Me trying to find like oral keepers, record keepers, wisdom keepers that have just like journals from the 70s, or like that's become like my new bag." Just like going and harassing old people for information, like instead of
Ah,
instead of trying to Google stuff. I just feel like planet Earth is a psyop. Planet Earth is the whole planet's a psyop,
yeah,
especially if
yeah.
you're born in the Western society of planet Earth, and then
Big
like
time.
playing catch up the rest of your life.
Big time. It's all been lies. Everything has been lies. Everything we know is a lie. I mean, and I've taken it like, all right, well, whatever. Like, I mean, I'm not going to get upset over it. It's like, what's the point? What do I
Yeah,
gain by getting upset? Like, so it's like, okay, one more lie. All
I mean,
right,
what else?
moving on.
Right. And sometimes the disinformation is such a flood because I think the higher self wants you to pay attention. Right. Like I'm going to flood you with this thing that doesn't resonate and makes you very uncomfortable until you start going within and just finding the information that's inside you, because that's really the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter
Yes,
if it's true because truth is relative. Right. It doesn't
exactly.
matter if it's real because that's also,
It,
this is a fractal holographic planet. This is a shared hallucination. Nothing's really real, right? So like
yes.
so your intuition's all you got, babes.
Big time.
That's
Big
it.
time. And that's when, a lot of people reach out to me like, oh, is so and so, I don't resonate with them anymore. What do you think? I'm like, go with what? Your gut. If you're
Yeah.
asking that you don't resonate anymore with this person, then
Why do you need me to tell you?
yeah,
That's a real question. Like that's a valid question. Why aren't you enough to tell yourself? Right?
yeah,
Like I'm not going to do this anymore because it doesn't resonate. Why am I still seeking outer validation? And that's not like a attack. That's not like pointing the finger like why aren't you? It's really like reflect on it. Like why am I asking somebody else if I can be okay with something?
hmm
Right? Like why don't I trust myself at all? Because you've been taught to like seek authority for truth. You never been.
Something else that comes to mind with this of the lies, right? We've been taught to save money.
Mm,
And I had taken half of the money I had from my 401k and converted it into silver.
okay.
And I needed to use some of that silver. And I was like, no, I can't touch that. That's, and my guide said, hello, the future doesn't exist. It's the now moment. You're saving for what? What you're saving for? That is not real. The
Right.
future is not real, And I was
Cool.
like, oh shit,
Right.
that's right.
Hmm. That's
So
I've been like that. I've been there with everything. I'm like, I'm not recycling anymore.
it's like, yeah, like what do I don't need to be saving that. What am I doing? Go on the trips I want to go to, enjoy my life, because now is the moment.
That's
There is no future, people. Doesn't exist. It's
it.
now.
By actually thinking that it might exist and I might need this money for it, you're literally creating it. Isn't that so cool? By just thinking like there's going to be this thing later, you make it. You just made the sunrise again for yourself because you expect it to. That's how powerful. That's why the whole everything is just put it in front of the eyes of the collective and it will come to pass. Right? So put a video online, make it viral, make a lot of people look at it, and it's going to start to create matter. It's going to become real. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So pay
Mm-hmm.
attention to what's being shoved in your face, what everybody is sending you, all
Oh
everybody's
my God. Oh my
thing.
God. Oh my
That's
God.
something that's trying to be created right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's why, I don't stay on chats where I don't appear on many chats on my phone,
Mhm.
because I am using my time wisely, because I feel like I need to be creating what the trips I want to go to, the healing centers I want to create. So all of my energy is going to those things that I want to give my attention to, therefore my energy to, therefore it grows bigger. And that's what I'm doing.
That's all it is. I've even been like actively trying to stay off social media. I like took Instagram off my phone. No, that's a lie. I put it in the back of my phone. I didn't take it off. I just lied. My subconscious is like, it's gone. Instagram is gone. Don't worry. But
Oh my
it's
gosh.
hidden in the page behind the page behind the page. I have to actually like search for it to find it because I was just like, I'm so integrate. The more I integrate with my higher self and the more I tap into higher vibrations, even though it's hard to hold them, like it's hard to tap into a seventh dimensional field and like walk around in it, like
Yeah.
I'm in complete union with source.
Yep.
It's hard. It's not conducive on this planet. But like I tap into it, and the more I tap into it, the more I kind of feel like I can remember it or like hold it in. These like things like social media and just regular news, they like are so obvious what it's doing. It's just
Big time. It is taking away your life. It is taking away your now moment. It is stealing from you.
when
It
you
is,
notice if you open it, you don't even mean to. Most of the time you went on your phone for something else. And then you're on Instagram or you're on TikTok. And then 2 hours later, what happened? And it's
yes,
literally like energy fields, your
it
conscious,
is
your
sucking
currency.
it. It's like
It
I
just
can
sucks it.
I
I can,
can feel it sucking
I
my
tell people
energy.
a lot about that with porn. I see that happening with people on porn sites online. And if you're using porn sites on your phone or your computer, know that when you're in an orgasmic state in a human avatar, you're making a seismic wave of energy. You're creating a literal atom bomb from inside yourself. So there's a lot of beings that are interested in receiving that type of energy. And that's when you get into the porn addictions where people just like can't stop watching porn. You've literally become a battery for beings that whose whole technology is based on consciousness. Like,
Yep.
why do they need our consciousness? Because their whole tech is like thought based,
Yep.
right? So that instead of siphoning their own or utilizing their own energy, they need a lot to power their stuff. So like the porn sites, the free porn sites, why is it free? Like what's happening to me when I'm staring at this thing? I literally see it. It's just like an energy drain.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel when I do it in the morning. So in the morning, I only have Telegram and YouTube. That's it. The only two. And I've kept Telegram because for my tarot shows, I needed that. I gotta
Yeah.
get in there. But I noticed that when I do in the morning, it's like I want to open it, and now it's like, nope, I'm not opening that thing for anything.
Self-discipline. Self-discipline has been coming up for a lot of beings, or like, it's actually not hurting me to deny myself some things on this planet where everything's available. Like, you don't need self-discipline in a higher vibrational dimension and a different frequency density place. There's not a lot of bad options for you to choose to do. It's all
Hmm.
very like high vibe things. You could like make a mandala or sing, I don't know, things like that. It's not like here where it's like I could steal from an old lady. Like, that's not available in other dimensions. So like, you don't have to have the grit, the wherewithal. That's what a lot of souls come to earth to develop. It's like a
Hmm.
gym. It's like weightlifting of like refining my diamond soul by going to this place where I can do literally anything,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
see if I can make the right choices. That's like the
Yeah.
third
And the
dimension.
thing is, what I see myself, it's funny because I'll look at the Telegram stuff. It's all about like what's happening now, and Trump did this or the FBI did that, and and like keeping up with like the truther news kind of thing.
Right. Also a distraction.
Yes, also a distraction. Whether it's
Mhm.
truthers or good people, it doesn't matter. It's still a distraction,
Yep.
and they're constantly posting, constantly posting. And what I notice is that, do I want to pay attention that the FBI did this, or do I want to create my new trip to Egypt?
Right. Do you
Where
care
am I
what
going?
FBI is
What am
doing?
I doing? Like, why am I choosing? Think about it. Why am I choosing the news over creating some amazing freaking reality? What the hell?
I love that you're asking this, because that awareness means that your vibration beat the program. Your vibration raised enough that the program doesn't make sense. A
No,
lot of people, the program makes sense. I'm just gonna stare at CNN all day. Like you're like, what? How does any of this directly affect your life? Can you give me like any answer besides like, I don't know why I can't stop staring at this thing. I just
yes,
want to keep staring at it.
yeah.
And like, and then almost everything that's available online is co-opted. You can just guarantee it.
It is. And you know what? Who gives a shit?
Right.
Who, like, really, like, who gives a shit what that the FBI did this, or oh, it's a hoax because Trump is gonna get, arrested, and then they're gonna do this and do that. And it's like, I don't
Do
give a
you see
shit.
it? Like,
I
this
don't
is
give a shit.
another thing that's keeping you distracted in a reality from where you can literally live your own paradise because you can create that. Instead, you're looking over here at this stuff that none of it really happens.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
guys talk about it and get into a huffle and buffle,
Yep.
and it dissipates, and then it's the next thing, and
Yep.
we're still not seeing
Exactly.
the pattern. We're still not
Exactly.
seeing the pattern that this is the game. Like, you are in spiritual warfare. And
Absolutely.
if you don't, and your consciousness is the prize. It's not like, how much can I earn in this life? How beautiful can I become in this life? How many things can I like, give to people? It's not really about that. It's about just, what are you paying attention to?
Hmm.
Because you're paying it. It's money.
Yeah.
Your
He
cat's like,
just attacked me.
slap the heart chakra. Boom.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I
Yeah.
tell you, girl, I'm in a place now where really I can sit and look at this cat for 2 hours straight.
I love that.
Because yeah, yeah. And I'll just pet him, and for 2 hours I can do it. And it's like,
It's all good.
wow.
That's all the Dalai Lama does. I think they asked him when he's like, when you're not doing your millions of prayer and meditation, what do you do? And he's like, I look at animal video. I thought that was so wonderful. I was like, he's totally a Venusian too. He has like the biggest Venusian energy. And he's all about like, he had like a slip up a couple years ago, I think, where he was talking about having a female follow up, like the next Dalai Lama being a woman, which everybody's like, whoa, what? That's so cool. Right. And then he was like, but if she was a woman, she would have to be beautiful. I thought it was hilarious, but a lot of people got really upset about that statement and, had to spend a lot of time typing on the internet and fussing at the Dalai Lama for saying that very sexist thing. But that's still like, that's so Venusian, right? That's so like beauty. Like beauty is a big,
Huh.
lovely things to look at. There's some things you look at and it's just nice, right? It's like butter to look at. And then there's some people or things that you look at, it's not so nice. And like the Venusians are very like into beauty and like everything being the most heightened sensory field that it can be. I think that's the same thing with a lot of guides where we see them as so beautiful, right? Like when we see a lot of galactic beings, we're like blown away by how gorgeous they are. And it's like their vibrations are different. That sometimes the rotations of their planet are different. So they can be 800 and like look beautiful, or like the things that they're fed are so different. And like they're literally vibrating at this cosmic level, stardust. So we got a lot of work to do. And it
Yeah.
starts with turning off the social media.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that's huge, and it's not a message that I send out, and I think enough. And that is, why create a reality that's based on what you're reading on the social media? I would rather have full control of my reality and what I'm creating every day, and it's going to be freaking outrageously amazing.
Yeah.
So that's where I spend my time in the now moment. I mean, I don't necessarily think about my trips 24/7. Like I said, I'll spend an hour with my cat just looking at him, but I'm in the now moment. I am meditating. I am spending time in the now moment.
When you
Clear.
get there, it's like everything becomes so beautiful. I think I had a Charlie moment. Charlie does that. And I've been noticing he's like activating people's heart chakras that aren't asking him to. He's just like walking in stores and like blossoming people open. But there was a moment where I was like getting in my head about all the stuff that I had to do. And he just like was doing Charlie, just like running circles all over my body while I was like laying in bed, just being his crazy self. And it like time like slowed down. And I just like looked at him and was like, this is such a beautiful creature. Like, this is such a cool thing to kind of share this moment with this thing, like this other thing that like can see me. Like, when you get into the present, it's like you staring at that cat. Like, this is so bizarre that like I'm petting this four-legged mammal that feels really soft. And it's like, really nice and my energy cycling into hers and blah blah blah. Like, those moments are available in the present. Like, that's why magic has to happen. You have to be able to control the mind to like stay here, because it's really like a laziness of the mind to like worry about what happened or worry about what's coming. And just being here takes a lot. So yeah, I would totally pet a cat for 2 hours.
I know. I'm at that place in my life where I said I want to do nothing, and anything other than doing that is doing something. So it's like I'm trying really hard to be in the now moment, because I feel like what's coming is going to be work, and that is, once the big influx of money comes in, that takes work. Like, what am I going to help humanity with? What am I going to be doing to create these centers? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I plan on hiring someone to say, listen, open these centers here, here's the money, bye.
Right. Just if you ever want to come out, I think it's a balance in the third density. It's like you don't want to be Buddha and just like sitting under a tree and denouncing the world, because you're having this experience. You might as well enjoy it. And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a balance of going from like, I'm just being right now, until like, okay, now I'm doing. And now I really want to do. And now I have like a lot of passion and interest. If you're ever passionate about anything, that's like your soul mission. So of course, follow it. Yes. It's better than sitting under a tree.
Yeah. Joyce was asking me my cat's name. His name is Indy, as in Indiana Jones. Well, Indy. He's Indy.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
He's so cute. He shows up sometimes. He shows up when we're chatting sometimes.
Yeah. I had to let him go. He's in his cat. He sleeps all day, and then of course at night is the time to have fun and.
Well, I always said if I reincarnate, I want to be like a very spoiled house cat. If I come back to Earth, I just want to be like the coolest cat, just like
I don't know. I think that would be so boring.
all the
I don't
naps.
know.
I feel like I never nap anymore. I just want a solid week of naps, like child-free naps. That's great.
Oh, well, look, our time just flew by. It's already an hour.
I know I have to go do something with the hybrid.
That's bad. That's a bummer. All right. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. We love you, Zoe, as always. I
I
love
love you guys so
you.
much.
And we'll
Thank
see
you
you.
for
We'll do it
having me.
again. We'll do it
Okay.
again in 2 weeks.
All right. Love you.
Okay. Love you, girl. Bye, everybody.